Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage. Today we're doing another week in the life of video. We're actually starting a little early. Today is Sunday. We have a holiday this Monday, tomorrow, but we're getting started. Evan's over working on his truck today and hanging out, so we're gonna mess around a little bit today. This week we have a ton of stuff going. We're trying to get the office built in the new building. My buddy Dan and my father are coming. We're trying to film a podcast with my father, and we're going to get a really neat car later this week with a bunch of parts, among who knows what else. But what we got going today is we got our smoky Plymouth here. Been moving around, stole the battery back out of it for the run stand, and we had this engine. You guys may remember we ran my gentleman that owns the excavation company that did all the work for the new building and our addition upstairs. He dropped off this Flathead, we ran it, and we kind of determined that one of the cylinders, the compression was very low. It was like 60 psi, and it never got better. All the other ones were like 110, 100, really good for a Flathead, especially an unknown one. And really, I think it needs to come all the way apart. At the very least, pull the heads and the cylinder, the pistons and stuff, and inspect what's going on. But we don't really do customer work. I can't reiterate that enough. So I just did that as a favor, just looking at it. But he's probably going to need to really needs to take it to the machine shop, have it totally gone through, everything checked, and possibly resurfaced and put back together. But at least we know that it ran and it was a good block, didn't overheat, all that stuff. It was good. Just had a cylinder that was burning oil pretty good and was a little low in compression. So this engine here, wait for the camera to pick up the light. This is the engine that came with the Plymouth. This is our free rebuilt, we never know, Flathead. So the story is this engine was rebuilt in the 80s for a 41 Ford, I believe he said he had. And then he got rid of the car and never put the engine in the car. So this engine's been sitting. He turned it over by hand every so often, and I put a bar on it and it did turn. So Evan and I got it on the run stand, and Evan had already put some oil down in the cylinders, and we're going to try and just do a compression check. I just have my this simple one here. I think we got it in a mail call one time. So we just have this simple compression tester. We'll crank it over, check each cylinder, see if they look decent and are even, or if something's a problem, we're going to need to pull the heads and inspect the valves and all of that stuff. But fingers crossed, the valves will all be okay and not stuck, and we can maybe try and fire this thing up later today or this week. One. Go. Ooh. Damn. Almost 125.
Action there just readjusted itself.
Yeah, I probably should tighten that a little better. One. Dang, 125 is pretty remarkable for a Flathead.
Interesting.
Alright. Go ahead.
124.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa. Dang. I call that. Yeah. 123, we'll say.
Okay.
Alright. Maybe 120.
Oh, there we go.
Whoop. At the end there, it went up to 125. So.
Alright.
That one's like 90. Not great. But very well could be rings that aren't seated all the way, or oil didn't get down there yet.
Very good.
They're all high enough it should start and run. That one bumped up to 120 at the end there. So we got maybe two that are not as good as the others, but they're still not terrible. So all right, Evan and I on the holiday got Big Red here, and we were at Home Depot getting a crap ton of lumber. Lumber has gotten very expensive, and we got like 3 carts full of building supplies for the office tomorrow. So back this thing up and use the truck what it was meant for, hauling. All right, so it is Wednesday morning, pretty early. My father is in town and was helping us yesterday with the office, and my buddy Dan was giving us a hand as well. This morning I need to run out real quick. They're going to start working on the office without me for a little bit. I need to take a drive and go look at some stuff. A lot of these estates that we do, not all of them are okay with us filming, and sometimes we have to go visit the property and meet with the families and different things multiple times. So I'm going to take a run out. It's pretty early. It's perfect. Literally perfect Roadster weather. So I'm going to jump in the 32 Roadster and take a drive through the country. One of my favorite things to do, we talked about this in our podcast, is the way you enjoy the hobby. So for me, driving back country roads in a Roadster or in an old car is pretty much one of my favorite things. So it is a nice brisk, like 50 some degrees this morning. I think it's only going to get into like the mid 70s today, so it's like perfect weather. So I'm going to take a drive. It's about 45 minutes or an hour each way. Drive the DeLorean Roadster out there, take a look at some stuff. Don't know if I'm going to be able to show you this stuff until if we make the deal on it. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll come back and check out the office. We're trying to get the office mostly done today, or at least framed up and skinned. We'll see how far we get, and then Mike and I tonight have to hop in the truck, and we are heading to Richmond, Virginia to go buy a whole load of stuff in a car. So crazy day. This is a normal day for us, and on top of that, Mike's trying to box stuff. We have customers coming to pick up some parts, and who knows what else is going to happen in between, but should be a fun day. I'm really excited to take the car and go for a drive. Even with all the craziness, still got to enjoy driving an old car as often as possible. So this is Wednesday. not car related, but I think it's a neat story. You were also into road bikes, and that was that in the 70s when that was big. like when you were doing
bicycles?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And you.
That was way before you were
Right.
you were born, and I
How-
met your mom.
How old were you? You think?
I was, 16, 17, 18.
Oh, okay. And you rode cross country, right?
I rode cross country.
And
Rode across country and rode the bus back.
It's crazy.
And never came back. Never came back through.
Yeah. Now, what made you just like, yeah, we can do this?
Well, that's because my best friend, that's what he was into. And
But yeah, you guys weren't like.
we went across the country to, he was going to college in Olympia, Washington.
Okay.
He wanted to ride he was riding his bike out to, from Pennsylvania to Washington. And him and I, did a lot of things together, and I
Right.
decided I was going to do it with him.
But that's just so crazy. Like you guys were you just kind of like.
Well, we did a lot of bike riding trips. We did trips.
Okay, so it wasn't just
I rode earlier that year that we went out. I rode up to Maine and back with him
Wow. That's crazy.
in the summertime, and I did a lot of trips on my own that I rode.
Wow. So when you were going cross country, I mean, it's not like today where you could just like look up. You just slept wherever, or like
A lot of times we tried to find open fields or places, wooded places we could go up in and
Mm-hmm.
just pitch a tent and sleep, and then we get up in the morning and ride again.
How many miles do you think you guys were doing?
I don't remember. We were doing it depended. If it was raining, we only made like 60 or 70,
Mm-hmm.
and if it wasn't raining, we made up to 100 miles a day.
Wow.
So
So
with loaded packs and
yeah, that's crazy. So that was the only time you really were west of like
Yes.
Ohio, really?
yes.
Okay. All right, so my dad just left. We ended up shooting a podcast of my dad, which is really cool. So we're gonna be putting that out sometime soon. Dan left. Mike's starting to pack for our journey. Ryan is shooting photos of magazines and books, all kinds of interesting stuff from, I think, the Mad Scientist estate. We got all kinds of this stuff. So he's been going through that, shooting photos in between everything else. But this is the exciting part. We have what resembles an office with some loft overhang area. It's kind of cool. Kate actually noticed when she walked in, she's like, that looks like an old service station. And she's kind of right. So we do have some leftover tin that we might skin this in. I don't know. Not going to make any promises yet. But before Dan left, he had a little bit of a time crunch. He was able to help us get these windows in. I got these cheap new construction windows just so we can get some air in there. And if we decide to put like one of those floor model air conditioners, he can just take this out and we could put a vent out there. So that'll work out really nice. But we used up some of our engineered boards that I had from when we had the upstairs of the other shop build. I kept those, and like any good scavenger, we reused those pieces. So that's what that is up there. But have this little office framed out. Mike's going to be doing some stuff in here to get it set how he wants, and then we're going to put some more insulation in there and then skin all of this as well so that it'll stay nice and warm in the summer, and we can maybe even cool it in the winter. So we have this overhang here that we did that's lagged into the beams in the side of the building, and the idea is that under here we can put like the air compressor, the electrical box, some of that stuff, whatever we're going to put in here, and also some storage. We talked about putting some shelves here that maybe we can put some, parts to be picked up, or whatever stuff we put out here. Also, it'd be cool to put our book that we have here with all of our different part numbers and stuff out there to look through. And then we made a little section here, like 3 feet or whatever, that we can walk through and still get access to the parts on this side. But basically in 2 days we got all that built. That was mostly my dad and Dan. I was running around trying to put out fires and do whatever. I helped them some, but they did most of that work, and it is really great. And you can actually walk on top of it now. Take you guys upstairs and you can see what it'll be like. So here we go. So go up our stairs. I don't know if we showed you guys upstairs in a while. but we're starting to get some organization or resemblance of it. You can see we got trim rings, we got some tail lights over here. This is still all pallets that need to be gone through of inventory. Still going through headlights, getting them organized. But you can see these shelves coming together nicely. You got some stuff, you know, gauges. See, we got Model A gauges, and so we're getting some organization together. And then turn this corner here. Let's see if I can squeeze between without falling, because it is a little packed now.
Good luck.
I know. Stab myself with 44 trim, and here is our roof structure of the office. So we have a little step down here. Nothing real crazy. It's, I don't know, not much more than a step, maybe 8 inches or something down. And that is our roof. There's Mike. And we got this nice section. Dan kicked butt on all this. We're using up all the, I bought a pallet load of this finished furniture grade birch that we used up top. Dan got me a really great deal on it, and we had enough sheets left over of it to do the ceiling. We just used sheathing on the outside of the building because I didn't have enough sheets or money to do this on the outside as well. But super cool. Our plan is to put some shelving around here. Nothing super heavy, I don't think. Maybe a 32 body right here so you can see it when you come in the shop. Maybe that. Or a 3-window body or something. But so that's the plan, is what we're doing there. So you can see the step we have right here. We're just gonna lag this, the floor. I know it's a little hard to see here with the light changing, but we're gonna lag the floor of this, of the mezzanine, into the roof of this to kind of tie everything together. That's the only other thing we gotta do yet. But you see a lot of stuff yet to go through, but good progress this week on that. Mike and I are gonna hop in the truck and head to Virginia, and then we'll see what we get into in Virginia, and then Friday maybe try and do some more work on the office. So busy week in the life of. How about this old petrified piece of wood? $1 fee for picture of Noah's Ark fragment. Noah's Ark wood recovered in Tibetan mountains secret site, $125.
I like that.
That's a very
You should
old guy
take that to
swapping
Hershey.
thing.
You think that really is what that is? That's hilarious.
You know, I'm pretty sure not. No, it's.
It could be.
He makes it up.
I believe it.
Should we save that for our swap meet space at Hershey?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
That needs to carry on.
Carry on to Hershey. That's a
I
tradition.
forget what his
Oh, it's a-
spaces
it's a-
are.
It's just a piece of tree bark or.
How about a soup? Soup.
Is that what that is? Wow. That's sedan delivery only.
That was well played. Here you go. Tarp and some.
The turbine clips. Keep that tote, if please, because you
Bunches.
might use it,
You
right?
want the clamps?
Yeah.
Yeah, the tarp. Keep it if you.
We'll use them somewhere. That's so cool. You must have had a lot of cool cars that you.
But you know, people used to do in the old days tricks. I'm
Mhm.
sure you remember. All of a sudden, the first thing you want to do when you get things, you go buy Coca-Cola in this little in a cup,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden, when people are standing around, you just, when you lean over to look, make sure everything's in there, you pull the dipstick back a little bit and pour water in it, and stand back up and say, "Oh my God, it's got a crack block."
That's a good trick. Yeah.
You get that one.
You get it cheap because they had
You get
a
it cheap, so.
That's-
It was all kinds of ways now.
to get around. Oh my gosh, that's funny. That's so cool.
It was.
Wow. Incredible. It's Friday.
I'm sleepy.
Moon is not sleepy, but we are sleepy.
What time we get in last night? 12:30?
12:30 to my house, and then Mike had to drive home. So,
And then upload a video.
and make a thumbnail and all that. So
Yes.
we were running long hours yesterday. We got up at
6.
6, left by 7 or 7:30, drove to Richmond, about an hour from where we got a hotel. And then we worked like all day, and then like a lot of these estates we do, we loaded everything at the the property where we were getting the vehicle and most of the parts, and they go, "Oh, well, do you want to go to the house?" And Stuart's father, who owned all the stuff, was at the house. He's elderly, so he wasn't able to stand around all day with us. So, but he did want to see the car and see us and everything. So we went there, and of course, then they're like, well, there might be some stuff in the attic for the car, and here and there. And next thing you know, we're there for 3 hours.
Exchanging stories and looking
Yeah.
at all his neat stuff that he had.
Yeah, it was a really great time. So it was worth it. We also missed DC and Baltimore traffic, which was
Yeah.
nice. And we found some more killer parts for the car, which made it all very much worth it. And it'll be cool when we can go back to get some more stuff as they start cleaning out and organizing and figuring out what they need. It was interesting meeting a lot of these guys that are a lot older than us, but had the same passion. So his father was, when I talk to him, I see a lot of what we're doing in what he was doing, and a lot of the stuff he had all kinds of cool early Fords, and now he was down to just a couple he wanted to keep in the family. So, but just all the stories of finding this car and having that car and driving the Hershey and looking for parts, just so much fun, and really cool to hear. So that was a lot of fun. The office is basically close to roughed out. It is roughed out.
Yeah.
We have to do a little bit of plyboard work around the top. Mike and I might just today, to get it out of the way, get the door in the hole. I don't know if we're going to get it actually shimmed and fully done today. But if not, that'll be easy next week to tackle. You probably see that in another video, if not. But we do need to somewhat get some of the stuff out of that trailer a little bit. And now that we're getting organized in here, Mike and I were talking as we were driving back, a bunch of the stuff that's common everyday items we sell, like shackles and torque tube pieces and mechanical items. We already have a place for them. We have a ton of them. We're just going to take them out of a bin, put them right in there, and then we're going to, of course, maybe shoot our unloading video, which you'll see in another video on its own.
Yes.
But crazy day. Customers coming by, of course, to pick up parts. Our friend Pete is usually by at least once a week to say hello, hang out. He's really good at sniffing out when we get, or knowing that we get a new car or new stuff, and he comes by to check it out, which is, understandable. So we'll probably have a visit from him. So it's gonna be a busy Friday. We also have to lay out swap meet spaces for the Gasket Goons show, another big local one-day hot rod show that our friends in the Gasket Goons put on. They had some weather concerns and the show got moved one day back, but Mike and I are still today gonna go just lay out the swap spaces. We just help them kind of put people in their places for the swap meet, and then we hang out for the day. So we're gonna do that today. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, but Sunday should hopefully, fingers crossed, be really nice, and we'll be at the show hanging out and at the show and swap meet. So it's gonna be a busy day. We're gonna be running all the way till after dinner time, I'm sure. So let's
Another
get started.
long day.
Yes. It goes better in reverse, I think. So if you want to,
Is this the key on the floor?
there's no one in it.
Oh, there's one in it too.
Yeah, that one I found under the mat. Got this. You have to pump the gas a couple times.
A couple times, man.
Hey. Oh, yeah, you gotta let it warm up. Or at least. Oh yeah, ooh, that's a lot of oil. Wait for it to stop. Not bad now. Yes. Gently.
It was pretty gentle. That was forceful.
First. Yes, get the move out. Moon's favorite thing to do. What is it? What's in there?
I've already smelled that. Never mind.
Nope. What do you smell there? So that would be a good one for a doggy to ride around in.
It smells like stinky gas.
Yeah.
That one just fell out of the trailer too. Sounds pretty good. It does have 16s on it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's full again.
Yeah, this happens quick every time, so we're out of space again.
Some idiot would get his car done, you'd have more space.
Yeah.
So what did we find for the back? Let's show them real quick.
Oh yeah, so we got the car in, we were going over it a little bit, threw the seats in, which is cool.
Matt did sit in it and make noises.
Yep.
I'll shoot from right here.
So this back here, one of the reasons when we're at these estates and you're buying a car like this, even if you don't know if the part's for the car or not, if it's around it, near it, in it, you should take it. So these little tins here, we found, I think near the car or in the car, and we were trying to figure out what they were for. They kind of looked like they might have been like the pieces that go over the door on a Model A, because the gentleman also had Model A's. And we're like, I don't know, let's just throw it in. And then we were sitting here kind of looking at everything, and I noticed there was a hard paint line where this masonite wasn't painted, and I noticed there was trim holes. And then it dawned on me, these long curved pieces were the parts. Sedan delivery only. Very rare, obviously.
Side specific.
Side specific, and they have little beads on them. You know, they're kind of a, not just, the bottom has a curve that's been in it, or a lip. So pretty unique parts, and happy to find them. So I just set them in there, we just wanted to prove that we were right. And then those will go in. We got to put he had been doing some work around the back here, so I think that's why this was all taken apart. This is a piece we found that was in the car. This is a sill that goes in the back, completes the body line. Again, sedan delivery only. The lower rear panel underneath there's two of them in there. So we'll put one of them back on the car. And we think he was doing some repair of the wood. Maybe the door hinges the door was sagging or something, but it appears to me that a long time ago someone had replaced the wood and they had painted all that in there. So who knows when. Maybe it was back in the 60s when he bought it from the last person. He mentioned the guy was kind of working on it, so that might have been what was happening. But either way,
Both door bumpers are missing, right?
yeah. So,
And the dovetail. Or the latch.
rather. So yeah, we're gonna get some of those pieces are floating around in all the stuff. So we're gonna get that stuff one by one, because we just want to get the door to latch so it doesn't fly open pushing it around, and we're gonna get it running very soon. So that's one of the things. But that's been a crazy week. We have Gasket Goons this weekend, so we're going to give you, as with some of the other videos, we'll give you a couple highlights of some of our favorite cars at the show. Got moved because of the weather on Sunday. We'll see how it is for attendance, but we're still going to go out, drive an old car out, have a good time hanging out with friends, and we're going to show a couple of our favorites here at the end of the video, so stick around. Thanks, guys, for following along for another week in the life of. It's been a extraordinary week in the life of this time because we got another cool project car. Thanks, guys. Catch you later.